Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio is back. Joe Costello back with you as we get ready for a little back-to-back action. The Arizona Nationals and then the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals. Arizona, Pomona, it's going to be great, and I am super excited. Now, on this show, first of all, if you very astute viewers out there know that this is not typically the day that we go WFO. Going WFO on Monday, not necessarily the start of something new. What we are doing, I am traveling tomorrow. I'm headed to San Antonio on behalf of the NHRA to go meet with the United States Air Force at a sponsor summit. I'm going to be kind of learning a lot about how and why the Air Force utilizes the NHRA as a recruitment tool. And so I'm going to come back with all kinds of great information. It's going to be awesome. But at the same time, I'll be traveling in our normal show slot. And so we had a choice. We had a choice to come on early or skip it. So, of course, we're coming on early, baby, because we got some big news. It wasn't that long ago where Jay Blake, who is a friend of the show for a long time, I think he's a Patreon. Are you kidding me? Jay Blake has talked to our Patreons. He is a Patreon supporter of WFO Radio, but he told me he had some big things in the works. And when he was ready to drop it onto the world, he was going to do it on WFO Radio. And that's what's happening today. We'll cover the news. We'll cover the issues. We'll get ready for Arizona. Jay's going to be up first. But before we do that, I just want to tell you the people who make it possible for me to have this show, to go WFO and spend time with you at least once every single week. Like Bernie's Speed Shop. Bernie's in Ocala, Florida. If you didn't make the Fan Fest, it's okay. There were a lot of great videos. You probably saw the video of Josh and Daryl Gwynn fishing out there on the lakes in Gainesville. That was pretty amazing. I got to be there. It was awesome. But really, it all pales in comparison to what Josh and Brittany have built in Ocala, Florida. I know that a lot of the employees, the regulars there, listen to WFO on a regular basis. I want to shout out to all of those guys. Honored to talk about Bernie's every week. Here's the deal. They're buying and selling cars, classic cars. They're looking for inventory at all times. If you've got a classic, don't let it be the next barn find that goes for like $200. Bring it to Josh and let them sell it to their very well-known channel of clients around the world, right? Your car could end up in another country once they do their Bernie's thing to it. Bernie Speed Shop, American Classic Horsepower, Ocala, Florida. Also, our great friends at HusseyPerformance.net. This is David Allen. They're not just copperhead gaskets anymore. Very big in the alcohol ranks. They've got contingency sponsorship going on for Top Alcohol Dragster, Funny Car, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman in the NHRA, but also for Top Sportsman and Top Dragster in the PDRA. David Allen's phone number, 724-318-8292. It's 724-318-8292. It's just like their copperhead gaskets. They can make or design any oil pan, any valve cover. They've got it going on. HusseyPerformance.net. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Of course, Foggit. If you don't have a can of Foggit in your house, then you're missing out on all the amazing things that it ends up getting utilized for. But it's really designed to protect the inside of your cylinder's finish. Simple as that. Gary Stinnett got a lot of engines back and was noticing that kind of rusty ring where condensation forms and then damages your hone. And he thought there's got to be a way to prevent this more than the things that we have. because there's been fogging oils. People use transmission fluid. They tried to solve this problem. He solved the problem. And now Foggit is an industry standard in drag racing, and we're working hard to expand beyond drag racing. You can get it at summit-racingequipment.com. Go to foggit.com or summit-racingequipment.com. It's also on Amazon, but we want you to get it at Summit. Why? Because Summit's big supporters of the program. CWT Industries, balance machines for machine shops. It's as simple as that. Digital, touchscreen, easy to use, accurate, quicker, faster, better. It's like the example of the modern man. It's the $6 million man of balance machines. CWT Industries. You can always email me, joe@wforadio.com. I'll put you right together with Randy Neal. But if you've had the same balance machine for so many years, it might be time to upgrade. You already learned a little bit about FTI performance and Jesse converters, but what about our friends at Total Seal Piston Rings? I'm thinking I might be at Total Seal for this show next week. Matt Hartford and the team expanding the program into aerospace. A lot going on at Total Seal. If you want to hear the latest episode of Hidden Horsepower, Mike Moran, the guest. A lot of information was shared in like Mike Moran Part 1. TotalSeal.com. Call Keith Jones. Call those guys. They'll hook you up with whatever you're looking for. The question is like, what are you going to do? What are you building and what's it for? Is always the big question. Later on in the show, we'll tell you about Frank Hawley's drag racing school. We'll tell you about Marvin Rodak. We'll tell you about everybody else who helps out WFO. But right now, I need everybody to share this show. This guy is a fan favorite. He's a great guy. He's an inspirational story. And he is about to drop some news about drag racing. And also, I want to ask him a question real quick. We're going to bring him on. Jay Blake, welcome to the show. Hello, Jay. How are you? I'm
well, Joe, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I am excited that you are on with us. We've been talking a little bit about you're going to have some news. The news is going to be coming. We're going to share the news on WFO, and we're about to share the news. People are sharing the show, hopefully. But before we do that, though, it's kind of a tradition on WFO. We tackle the tough stuff first at the very beginning, and Bernie Federley has passed, an icon, a Hall of Famer, started out with Terry Kapp, of course, Larry Minor Racing, the championships, John Force, so many things. The guy has been the mentor for countless crew chiefs out there in the world. I know both you and I didn't know him personally, but certainly there's something positive to say about an icon like Bernie. Any thoughts?
You just have to send out prayers for his family and all that knew him. He was definitely a brilliant mind, and thinking of him and the Bartone family as well. Just some big losses in the drag racing world this week, which is, in TJ, his family. It's just been a rough week or so in drag racing.
Yes, you mentioned Michael, and you mentioned TJ from the Texas Motorplex, and it has been. And honestly, I hadn't really mentioned it, but I had a personal loss in my life this past weekend as well. A young man that I knew, used to bracket race with from the time we were 12 and 13 years old. We met in the neighborhood on bikes, and then we went bracket racing together for many years, and was a fixture in the neighborhood and in my life since then. I found out on Saturday when I was working on the car, cleaning out the garage, that he had passed as well. So it's part of life. The longer you live, the more this is going to happen, the more wonderful people you get to know, the more stories like this we're going to have to deal with. I think about, Tony. I think about all the friends of Bernie and everybody who learned from him. TJ, of course, at the Motorplex. I know they're devastated. Me personally, we all go through this, but it's great to have people that can lift us up in these moments. And that's drag racing, right? And that's what we do. It's why we do this. We love this thing and we devote our lives to it. And you have got some big news. You're going to be devoting even more of your life to it. So why don't you let's get it out there, Jay. What do you got?
Coming off of what we were just talking about, we get one shot at this. And if you live it right, once is enough. And Follow a Dream is going WFO. Follow a Dream is in 2026 going to campaign a Mission Foods Nitro Funny Car. It's been a dream for many, many years. It's always been out there, but it's now becoming reality. So no more alcohol in the tank, nitro with a blower, and time for the big show. So very excited, surrounding myself with some great people. And it's all about the dream, trying to inspire others, motivate others. And, let's go live the dream. Let's work it and live it, and let's do it.
I love it. Big news. I think that's huge news. We need it. First of all, we need as many Big Show Mission Food Series Nitro Funny Cars as possible. I know everyone is probably commenting in the comment sections, and people, if you have questions for Jay, put them up there. I know all the questions that I have, but we'll weave the audience into this deal, and I'll read the questions for Jay. But I am super excited. Saw you out there with Cody Crone at the Gator Nationals and the Baby Gators, and you'd sold your operation. I felt like something was up at that point, that you had a plan. So right now you're, let's talk about you. That had to be tough, Jay. That had to be tough. That was your baby. You won many races. That had to be tough. Let's start there.
It's funny, Joe, because so many people have said, how difficult is it? This must be hard. And they'd all get the same answer. No, I'm just wicked excited about the future. Well, let me tell you something. The day I rolled that car into that trailer for the last time in Gainesville, I felt like somebody kicked me in the gut. One of the crew guys is going, this, I'm like, don't say anything. We're just got to keep going. It was a huge gut punch. I usually do team meetings at the beginning and end of every race. And I really wanted to do a team meeting at the end of Gainesville. I knew I couldn't get 2 words out. So we just loaded the car. It was emotional at the time, but it's all been building. The day Frank Manzo sold me his first car, my first alcohol funny car, and then being able to sell my car to Cody and the Crone family and have the Follow Dream team there and help with the transition was incredibly humbling, but very exciting. Cody's great. The family's great, and wishing them the best future. And we're really excited. Some of the crew guys will be with them this year, and Anthony Terenzio's going to tune the car this year. So we're excited for Cody and what the future holds.
Well, they were running some 40s, and they were looking really good out there. And Cody is an excellent young man, having spent several hours on the lake with him and seeing his, that was the longest time I spent with Josh, with a lot of people. You're trapped in a little boat with somebody. You learn a lot about who they are. And Cody was awesome. And he is going to be a great addition. They're going to race the wheels off of that car. Great that Anthony is with him. So people are saying congratulations out there all across the board. Looking forward to the announcement. And now they know. All right. Why? You're a drag racer. You want to burn nitro. Jim Head told me years ago, once you burn the yellow stuff, you never go back. Clearly, it's always a goal. But what's the strategy? This is tough. It's expensive. Why join the Mission Foods Drag Racing Series now? Why? Is it a step up? It's a step up in cost. It's a step up in effort. It's a step up in what it takes. Why do this now, Jay?
It's a step up in everything. The reason we are doing it is we are looking for partners to help us grow the Follow Dream program and get the Follow Dream message out, speaking to corporate groups and schools, trying to motivate kids to believe in themselves, get an education, and to follow their dreams. And I believe the Mission Foods Nitro Funny Car is the right place for us to grow our program and take it to the next step. We had great success with the Alcohol Funny Car, and we're looking to take that success and learn and just start over. I mean, why wouldn't you want to start over and subject yourself to the tortures of learning something new all over again? It's always a challenge. So nobody said we were smart. We're just crazy.
Well, exactly. Steve from Elite Auto Detailing says you're a great inspiration. And Gary from Montana Karting shouting out. And everybody's interested in this. And I appreciate everybody sharing this show. Jay, let's take a step backward. Believe it or not, I'm sure there's someone out there who doesn't know your personal story. Let's give the I want to say the cliff notes of how
Yeah.
you got to this point, because this is a massive step. And I appreciate what you're doing, because the spotlight, I hate to say it, but the spotlight is just so much bigger. The people that pay attention to Mission Foods Funny Car that maybe don't know the story, even though you ran alcohol for so many years.
So that's why we're making the step. And the story, I went to work, 1997. I forget how many years, but a lot of them. I went to work and I had a forklift tire wheel and tire assembly explode in my face, caused me to lose total sight, smell, and taste. I was blessed to survive, and trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my life, I decided I was going to follow my dream, and I was going to start a race team, and I wanted to go motivate kids to get an education, to believe in themselves, and to follow their dream. So I started Follow a Dream, a nonprofit corporation designed to educate children and adults on the power of positive thinking, self-determination, and teamwork through motorsports. I use the race car to prove that what I am talking about is real, and to draw attention to the program, and to show people what you can do with a positive attitude, education, passion, determination, and teamwork. And those 5 tools I have used to go from a hospital bed to the winner's circle at NHRA. And now we're looking to use those tools to go to Mission Foods Nitro Funny Car. And it's all through teamwork that this has all happened. After my accident, I just wasn't ready to give up on life. And, when bad things happen, you have a choice. You either work through them or you allow them to stop you. And I just didn't allow it to stop me. I didn't want to give up. I had lots of life to live. And I'm older now and a bit saner, but maybe not, because I'm doing this. But
yeah,
I'm blessed to be alive. I love drag racing. The community of people is wonderful. And going out and inspiring others and motivating people, it's awesome. And if you have an opportunity to make a difference, a positive difference in somebody's life, it's just an incredible thing. And we're taking full advantage of the opportunity. We're going to look for some partners to come with a funny car and spread our message throughout the country.
I love that idea. And the spotlight is going to be bigger. It's going to be brighter. The potential to reach people is going to be bigger. And you are such a great messenger, because there's no doubt that you know what you speak of, right? Same with Daryl Gwynn, talking a little bit about DG, always says he had one bad day. His life was great. He had one bad day, and he's turning that bad day into helping with the gift of mobility for others. You motivating young kids with this opportunity. But all right, you said it. It's going to be tough. This is a challenge. How are we doing this? Let's talk a little bit about the particulars. People are going to want to know, all right, what car? Are you going to buy a car that's already in existence? Are you going to partner with someone that's already out there? And you yourself can be inspired. And so tell us a little bit about the story of how you came to this and which car you guys are going to be campaigning.
So I have purchased the Robert Schwab operation, his Nitro Funny Car, and Robert is coming with us to show us, teach us, and help us run the car. Robert wrote a book, Racing Hearts and Burning Cars. I hope I got the title right. You can get it on Amazon. It's an amazing story. It's all about following his dream. And again, that's what we're doing. We're getting a team together to follow a dream. So Robert Schwab and his operation and his knowledge, he worked with Jim Head for years, and we're very excited. Phil Burkhart will drive the car, and we will come out in 2026. We will not run the car this year, and we're not exactly sure what race we will start at in 2026, but we're very, very excited.
Oh, I'm
Robert's
excited too.
excited. Phil's excited. We're all excited.
So the book is available on Amazon. I just brought it up. It's like $18 and tells the story. Robert is originally from Australia. We've got a lot of WFO universe members down there in Oz, down under, if you will. And they're all recovering from Formula One this weekend, probably face down, but it's okay. Wake up, guys. But that is a great international story. And Robert had success in that car. Like, this is a car that has had some success.
Yes. And Robert has had a lot of success, and we're excited, and he's excited to teach and help. So, like I started with the alcohol car a little bit at a time, and that's our plan for the Mission Food Series. So we're excited.
Now, you're open to other help, right? Like it seems to me that there are a lot of people in the pit area, and I'm just guessing, knowing the people that know you, knowing the people that want to help other little Nitro teams figure it out with the least amount of carnage and problems. It's not like we're soliciting, hey, help Jay, but hey, help Jay. What about that, Jay?
Yes, I've been talking to Tim Wilkerson for years about this, and he's willing to help. And, Robert's got a relationship with Jim Head and Dave Leahy, and Dave Leahy's, as much as he tried to talk me out of it, is going to do what they can to help. And I'm open for help. I mean, I don't have a big budget, and, I'm starting out. I need education. I need to learn. I need help. But I feel we're assembling a great group of people, and we're just going to take it slow, not get in over our head.
And we're making this announcement now. Why? Like, why now? And I would imagine it's to get ahead of all of this and give as much lead time for people that maybe want to get involved. What are you looking for, Jay?
I made the announcement today because I have finally sold the alcohol program, and then everybody kept asking, and I now have the money to purchase the Nitro program. So I wanted to put it out there so people are aware, so we can find partners to help us with this program, and some crew people. Some of my Follow Dream crew people are coming, and we're excited about that. But just gives us time to assemble everything we need to be prepared for 2026. So when that comes, we're ready, and it's exciting. It's exciting. It's today is the first time I've really talked about it publicly, and I'm not sure if I understand how real it is, but it's real now. So.
Yeah, no, you can't take it back. It's on WFO. That's it. It's
right.
Real. Andrew Jasinski says, any idea where the first Nitro race will be? Because he's going to be there. He's got his Expedia open. He wants to book some tickets. Any idea about that? Are you going to try for the 26 Gator Nationals?
Andrew, you're awesome. His uncle was my dearest friend, and he took me to Maple Grove, where I decided I was going to go racing, and this was my dream after my accident. And I'm shocked he's out there, but it's really awesome.
No, it is awesome. And you know what? Hey, man, it's okay. It's okay to get. I think we're all getting a little emotional here, Jay.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So many things have come together recently as I've decided to do this, that it's really meant to be now, and I'm excited. The future is bright, and we're excited. We're going WFO, Joe.
I love it. I love it. Okay, it's St. Patty's Day, right? Your brother, the Irishman,
Yeah.
like it's all coming together. There's a whole.
Yeah.
You didn't plan this for St. Patty's Day, did you?
No, I didn't actually. I did not. But the luck of the Irish,
There you go. All right, Al wants to know. He asks about Phil Burkhart being the driver, but let's put some meat on the bones there. Not a bad driver to have for your debut. Phil Burkhart has made a lot of laps in a big show car, and you don't have to worry about that guy.
No, we're very excited. Phil will be piloting the Follow a Dream Mission Foods Nitro Funny Car because of his experience. Phil has actually driven this car in the past and worked with Robert, so it's a great team, and we're very confident. We don't have to worry about the driver, and we don't have to worry about somebody trying to, show off and set the world on fire the first time either.
All right. What do you anticipate the greatest challenges are going to be? It's obviously a 20 race schedule. You're going to run a few races. You're going to get your feet wet. You're trying to build a great sponsor team relationship so that you can be out there as much as is possible. So just talk a little bit about what hurdles you think are going to be challenging.
The biggest hurdle will be finding a marketing partner or marketing partners to work with us. The first year, we're looking to do possibly 4 or so races. But that phone could ring and you could go from 4 races to 10 races, or you never know what that phone call is. So, and then just assembling all the people and the pieces. It just, when you have time, it's great because you can do it slowly and consciously. So I would say the biggest hurdle, though, will be the logistics and finding a marketing partner or partners to make it all happen.
Yeah, I agree. But there's certainly worse people to be involved with than a great organization that is trying to motivate young people out there and use the spotlight of NHRA Drag Racing to get that message out. Like that is a great thing. And you had a great relationship. And so let's dig on that a little bit. The spotlight that is the Mission Food Series and NHRA on Fox and all the tools that come with the big show. You made this decision because it's just so much more powerful when you run a 300 mile per hour Nitro Funny Car.
Absolutely. Yes. I've done work with the YES program in the past, hoping to do more of it. And, with the speaking program for corporate events and team building and kids, the Mission Food Series just will give us more attention. Like you said, the spotlight. And the spotlight's got to be really bright, Joe, so I can see it. It's got to burn. And that's what we're looking to do, is get in so people know about Follow a Dream, and we can bring our partners a very unique opportunity. There's only one blind guy out there that I've seen, and we're going to use the Mission Food Series to try and bring a spotlight to our program and try and motivate and inspire and teach teamwork all over. So we can't wait for Fox and Mission Foods, work with Mission Foods to help bring Mission Foods to the schools and teach kids about Mission Foods, as well as we're trying to teach them about having the right attitude and going after their dream and getting an education. There are so many pieces that can work together to motivate and move forward our incredible sport of NHRA Drag Racing and Mission Foods and Fox TV and the Follow a Dream program. It's all about working together, teamwork.
Yeah, and it's going to get better too. I think, on the ascent, a sport on the ascent. Now that we've won the battle versus IndyCar over who is the fastest, now that we've won that battle, like me just declaring victory in that battle, we've won it when we defeated them on that
battle, Joe.
I know.
We had it won before they came up with it.
Your alcohol funny car was faster than an Indy car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, no, and we love that stuff. Chad Green said it so beautifully. It's awesome. We love it. It's just, it's just a number. It's a fact. So what kind of body is on this car? Let's do some granular stuff.
Right now, there's a Dodge body on it. We're looking to update it to a more modern body. But it's a Gen 1 Dodge body right now. And if the opportunity arises, we'd like to update that. We've worked with Chevrolet since I had my Super Comp car, and I'm trying to reach out to Chevrolet. I know Force has got some kind of deal, but I'm just trying to knock on all the doors, see what the opportunities are.
Excellent.
Now, we worked with Chevrolet to build the alcohol funny car body, and it'd be really cool to have a Chevrolet body when we go nitro racing. But
you were the first, right, with the new Camaro?
Yep.
Didn't we talk about that on WFO? Wasn't that like a big news thing?
It was. That was a long time ago, though, Joe.
I remember, like, didn't Jay mention the new Camaro on WFO? It was like a newsworthy item back then, and now it's the standard, Jay. Now everybody's got it.
Yes. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
All right,
it's amazing, to think about. We dreamed of winning a Wally, and the success that we've had all through teamwork, the members of the Follow a Dream team, whether in the shop, the office, or on the road, it's all been due to the support and of the team and the families. And I've just been surrounded by amazing people, and it's incredible. We've been racing funny cars for so long. Honestly, there was a time I thought about going Top Fuel racing, and it occurred to me, I've been walking around a pit area with a funny car in it for 20 years. And when you're blind, your brain kind of adapts to your environment. Well, if I tried to stick a Top Fuel dragster in my pit area, I'd trip and fall down and look like a fool all the time. So I'm like, I can't go Top Fuel racing. I got to go Nitro Funny Car racing.
Oh, man. I appreciate the self-deprecating humor. I think it's great. All right, Todd Venny, has this guy called you yet? Like, I'm sure he's regretting his opportunity at NHRA on Fox now because his former team is going Nitro Funny Car racing. I mean that as a joke, obviously. I'm sure he's very happy.
Yeah, because Fox NHRA pays way better than Follow a Dream does. So,
yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I'm just going to move forward. If you've got a question for Jay Blake, no, because I'm sure it's true in some circumstances. Put it in the comment section, guys. And I'm going to ask Jay. All right, Jay, we're going to not test your knowledge, but let's talk a little bit about that motivational stuff. Our audience out there, they could deserve a little motivation through their daily life, try to get through some stuff. We started the show with, some down information, but what keeps you going? Like you are a highly motivated person. You are just a ball of energy. I see everybody around you. You could have taken the depressed road out. Why didn't you?
Why didn't I? The bottom line is, I believe that the first thing I remember from my accident was I woke up in a very, very white, amazingly peaceful place. Like, you can't describe the peace. And it was very, very white and very, very bright and just incredible peace. And a male voice said to me, "Do you want to stay or do you want to go?" And I said, "I have 2 kids. I have to go." I woke up, and I think I said to my brother was at my side, and I said, "Am I alive?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Am I blind?" And he says, "We think so." They were trying to save one eye at the time. But that near-death experience, I believe, has given me the peace and the opportunity to just realize how fortunate I am. And there's another story about my daughter. She was 6, and I was in a really, really bad spot. And just so everybody's aware, my 6-year-old daughter was 6 then and is now 33, I think. And she's sitting in front of me by probably 15 feet, probably crying. But so I was in a real bad spot, and I'm leaning up against my dishwasher in the kitchen, and I'm thinking, did I really make the right choice? Should I have woken up? And I mean, I was depressed and sad and all of this. I didn't say anything. This was all in my head. And all of a sudden, my daughter, she comes running into the kitchen and grabs my legs and goes, "Daddy, I'm so glad you're alive, even though you're blind." And that moment, I went, I've never questioned it again. Now, I'm not here to say I don't have bad days, because I do. I describe blindness in 2 words. It sucks. But you know what? In life, sometimes things suck. And it's up to us on what we're going to do about that. And life, there's too many amazing opportunities to give up. And even when you're having a bad day, there's always some good around. And you just got to try and focus on it. And that's what helps me get through. I mean, look at what we're doing. We're talking about drag racing. I'm buying a Nitro Funny Car. I mean, how bad is life really? You know, I am blessed. I'm so fortunate, surrounded by great team, great family, great people. Got the luck of the Irish. It's just, you gotta be thankful. It's just, it just gives you motivation.
Yeah,
you know,
that's amazing. That's Dan Parker says, "What's up from your blind buddy?"
Now there's another guy. Dan Parker loses his sight, a world champion pro mod racer, doesn't give up, and becomes the fastest blind man in the world, driving a land speed car himself at over 211 miles an hour. That's what happens when you don't give up.
That's awesome. Brian Greer says, "Congratulations to you and the team. So happy for you. Looking forward to what the future holds. You will succeed, my friend." Jeff Rice says, "Most excellent. You're having a positive impact." Jay, I didn't know, this, we're kind of taking a turn here, but like, I love it. I didn't know you had kind of seen the other side. I didn't understand. Yeah. I'm asking questions. I was hanging out with Steve Magnante the other day. I don't know if you know Steve. Steve did a lot of stuff with Motor Trend and recently was in a coma for over 20 days in a coma. And he did a feature on Project Pontiac out in Orlando. And I asked him, like, "Steve, can I ask you some questions?" And he thought I wanted to ask him about cars. I was like, you know, "Did you see anything? Did you what?" And he said, no, he didn't remember anything from being in the coma. He just woke up and kind of like time travel, space travel, you cryo freeze. You just wake up and you're now in the new reality. But I didn't fully understand that you had gone to someplace.
Go to the other side.
Something that I will call it the other side for lack of better understanding.
Joe, it was the most incredible, amazing experience. It was just, I'm truly blessed. People say it all the time and I say it a lot, but I truly mean it. I mean, it's just amazing. And it was so peaceful. It was just unreal. It was unreal.
That's got to be comforting to have, because, I haven't had that experience. And so I'm a little afraid of, what there is. I just went through it with my dad just this past weekend, just found out that a childhood friend passed away. And it's right. But that gives me some comfort. Like Jay was there.
Yeah. I never felt pain. I mean, not to be blunt, but my accident was horrendous. It blew my face off and it was not pretty, but I never felt pain. All I felt, the first thing I remember is this peace. And and I haven't talked about it a lot recently, but it gives you comfort that, it's going to be okay. If all hell breaks loose and things don't work out, it's very peaceful. And it's given me a huge privilege to share that with some people that, like my buddy Ed Parker, who I could not be here without all of his help. And, he passed away this winter and I was at his bedside and talked to him and said, "Hey, buddy, it's going to be okay." And, I don't know. It's what I believe. Not everybody has to believe what I believe. I'm talking about my experience and my belief, and it's just I'm incredibly fortunate.
Well, exactly, and we're not trying to force anything on anybody. This,
No.
it could all be a computer simulation, right? Like none of it could be real. It's all the
No, there
matrix.
ain't no computer simulation.
Who knows? But based on the input we have, Earl Nichols is out there and says that you never stop. Good for him to love those guys at Follow a Dream, and glad we could let you use our fire bottles. What's that about? Earl Nichols.
He was working with Wayne Morris. I don't see the SFI tags very well, and the bottles on the funny car down in Gainesville were out of date. And NHRA noticed the tag was out of date. So Wayne Morris lent us some fire bottles so Cody could run his funny car.
The old blind excuse.
You gotta use what you can when you can, Joe.
I get it. I get it. All right, Jay, this is amazing. Hopefully everybody will share this show either in real time or after the fact. Such an inspiration. I'm going to ask you for a final thought before we part ways, but I have to speak with an alcohol funny car veteran about a hot topic in the category. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing my job. What do you think about these injected nitro cars? Good or bad?
I think it's for where the class is now, I think it's good. I think it will take a little time to get it figured out, but I think it's a good thing. The alcohol funny car is an amazing class. The days of revving it up, swapping feet, and the driver being an integral part of making the car work, I think is awesome and huge. Unfortunately, it's just not paying off to allow other people into the class. I think the A-Fuel thing will grow. And I know everybody's all freaked out. Steve Boggs is a genius. He was a genius with a blower. He's a genius with A-Fuel. So you got to wait until a few cars get in. And, Randy Myers got one. Mitch Steele, he's got one. It's going to level out in time, but I see some positives to it. Less crew, the cost is questionable. Rod life's better, spring life's better. I don't know. Time will tell. Alcohol funny car, alcohol dragster is an awesome class. I wish they got more love and more coverage. But it's a great class, and it'll all level out in time.
Yeah, I learned a little micro bit about just the labor intensive alcohol funny cars, labor intensive, need more guys, more people. You're servicing more things, supercharger. There's a lot going on, and the injected nitro cars, slightly less labor intensive, slightly less cost. And those things add up a lot. Just, how many rooms for the guys do you need? Like that's a big deal.
Yes. Yep. All the little things add up.
All the little things add up. Jay, this has been tremendous. I'll ask you for a final thought as we part ways. What I'm really hoping is that this interview makes its way to the Drag Racing News websites and everybody shares this story as a positive thing that's happening in the NHRA. Another big show, Mission Foods Funny Car coming out, albeit a limited schedule at first, but a great and positive story. And, maybe the right pieces and parts come together, as sometimes happens out there in the cosmos. The right people find each other, and this thing can grow to as large as you want it to be. That having all been said, leave us with a final thought from Jay Blake and Follow a Dream, something that may motivate us as we get ready to travel for 14 consecutive days with only a carry-on bag.
Well, I thank you, Joe, for having WFO and all you do for our sport. I am very excited about Follow a Dream going Mission Foods, Nitro Funny Car Racing, and I can't thank my family and my team and all that have gotten me to this point. But you just have to remember the 5 tools for your life's toolbox: a positive attitude, education, passion, determination, and teamwork. And with those 5 tools, you can accomplish your goals and your dreams. I know it because I'm doing it, and you can too. Just don't give up.
Amazing. Amazing. Is there anything that we did not cover that you wanted to cover that I didn't happen to meander onto on this interview? Is there anything you wanted to put out there that I did not get to just yet?
I don't think so. I thank everybody. Andrew, it was just awesome to hear your name, and it's just really cool. Thanks, Joe, thank you. We're excited.
You should be.
Nitro Funny Car, baby.
I know, it's kind of crazy, Jay. Nitro Funny Car, Big Show Funny Car. You'll be going up against, guys like Jim Head and John Force, guys like Ron Capps. It's going to be pretty crazy when this happens.
I can't wait. I mean, I've worked on the alcohol car. I'm going to work on the nitro car, but I can't wait to stand in front of it and hit that starter button and crank that thing up on my own. And that will just be an incredible moment. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Happy St. Patty's Day. All right, your work responsibilities are over. Go enjoy yourself out there, Jay. Thank you very much for spending time with us here on WFO and doing it on a Monday, by the way, because taking our travel schedule into consideration. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing this news on WFO. It means so much to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
There he goes. Jay Blake, everybody. There he goes. How about it? Unbelievable. They are going to try to do something that is very, very challenging, part-time at first. And of course, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. Big Show Funny Car Racing is really tough. And I don't know that we say that a lot because we don't want to discourage anybody, especially the people that are currently involved. But thanks to Jay, and I can think of a million possibilities, and I hope some good things happen. I really do. And Brian Greer out there, thank you, Joe. Great show. Thank you, Brian. Good seeing Brian. I was in Gainesville. I'm not far enough into the season to get confused about which races we've been to, right, Brian? Dan Parker in the house. Dan reached out to me 100 years ago when we were audio only to talk about his story, and we never got together on the deal, Dan. I remember that. And, trying to throw this thing together, and we just never connected on that. But it's not too late. It's not too late. Thank you, Dan. Monica says, love that kind of toolbox. Yeah, hard work. Great stuff. All right, put your comments in the comment section, guys, because we got some stuff to talk about as well here on WFO as we're getting ready. I mentioned I'm going to the Air Force to learn about what's going on with the sponsorship program and what they want to, how we can best work together, speaking of teamwork, to accomplish our mutual goals in the NHRA, which is going to be great. But at the same time, we've got the Arizona Nationals and we've got the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals back to back. Hopefully you're planning on going. Alice Cooper is going to be doing a concert right there by the track. That is great. This is what everybody has wanted for many, many years. Partner a couple of events together. I am a fan of Alice Cooper. School's Out. Great song. You put it at the opening of a great movie like Dazed and Confused. It could be burned into your brain forever. And it truly is. That's exciting. But we got some news as well. We got the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenges for the first time. We've got a lot going on. I mentioned the passing of Bernie Federally. That is tough. But it's like we've said so many times in the past, like when you are involved in a sport like this, you're going to know so many amazing people, and eventually they are going to pass. Hopefully there's comfort and peace to his family. And I know that there are so many people in the pit area that learned from Bernie. I got to tell you, I have had very little personal interaction with Bernie. I think at the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. That is sad, but I wish the best to his family. Rest in peace, Bernie. Lonnie says, awesome interview. Jay is amazing. It's not like we've been secretly holding Jay back. Jay has motivated our Patreons in the past on Monday Motivation. Eddie says, Air Force Basic Training San Antonio, pretty cool to see what I went through in 2016. All right, Fast Eddie, I'll go check it out. With that context, I have been to Parris Island for the United States Marine Corps. Now I will be to San Antonio for the Air Force, which is kind of cool. And very proud of my grandfather's service in World War II in the Air Force as a waist gunner on a B-24J Liberator. And that was recently featured in that new Amazon show. You know, it was kind of in the Pacific and Band of Brothers vein, and watched it. Very horrific. Gave me new understanding and appreciation how lucky my grandfather was to even be here, and how lucky I am to be here. Some of the news of the week in the NHRA. Robert Hight, no longer president at John Force Racing, and moving on. And there's been some deep dive reporting as to where Robert is going, and that maybe he and Leslie have purchased a firearm store or something. And it's, to me, you know, Robert Hight is my interaction. I cannot separate my personal interactions with people from the professional outlook. I'm not thinking about Robert Hight, the champion race car driver who is ice cold on the starting line and known for great reaction times, and pretty much had the same kind of reaction times that Austin Prock is having for his entire career. Is amazing. I think of Robert like the good guy that would, you know, have something funny or positive to say at the autograph sessions, and whatever makes Robert Hight happy at this point in his career. He's lived the drag racing life for a long time, you know, dealt with a health issue, and now is moving on to something else. And I am thrilled for Robert and Leslie, as much as this is definitely what they want to do. And, you know, on to the next chapter. But Robert Hight, now that the story is closed in a way, Robert Hight was an underappreciated entity, like a person, a champion, a driver, obviously a manager behind the scenes. Robert was not really the guy to seek out the spotlight, to try to be that spotlight hound. He just was results. It was pure results in drag racing. And you can put Robert Hight's numbers against anybody's, and he's one of the greatest of all time, clearly. And so I'm going to miss Robert Hight. And, you know, did people think he was like the character, like Robert Hight, the crazy guy that would say anything? That's not Robert Hight. He was a measured guy. He's a marksman, a sharpshooter, analytical thinker. And he brought that to his driving, and he was great when he did it. And so I'm excited about Robert. Robert is still with us, but he's leaving the drag racing world. And, you know, the guy, we knew he was here. That's for certain. Let's see what else. Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenges. This is exciting. Antron versus Tony Stewart, which Tony Stewart was out of the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, which means Steve Torrance not going to be there. That's a little bit of a story, something we have followed with during the winter break. Kind of the, we don't know, is he not? What's happening? Who is it? Is it going to be Billy? Is it going to be Steve? I was kind of on the thought process that Steve was going to run, and maybe he will run enough races to make the countdown. Maybe he's going to kind of test that theory. Like, what does it take? Also, another thing, like, Steve is not obligated to spend every weekend, every year at an NHRA race when he's got two daughters, like, that are in the prime of their childhood. And he's probably smart enough to remember his teenage years. And, you know, what happens? Like, they go off to do their own thing and then, you know, come back. So he wants to probably, you know, learning the business. I don't want to overstate what Steve's doing, but got to run that business. All hands on deck. So my point is, if Steve wants to take some time off for himself, for his family, to do a few other things other than drag racing, I think we should give him the space to do that. And that will make him want to come back, right? That will make him want to come back. We miss you, Steve. Steve Torrance, by the way, bringing it out there this past weekend. Big thanks, the Gator Nationals, which feels like a while. Let's see what you guys got to say. And we will read your comments about Jay and others, but we're going to do it right after this.
Foggit is a high-performance fogging oil designed especially for internal combustion engines. Foggit can be used by everyone. If you have a lawnmower, a jet ski, a motorcycle, a tractor, a high-performance car, a classic car, racing vehicles, if it has a cylinder wall, it needs Foggit.
I'm Steve Torrance, four-time NHRA Top Fuel World Champion. And when me and these Capco boys win races, we go straight WFO.
There we go. That was out in Arizona at a test, Steve, and he's still a four-time champ. Pretty exciting. I want to tell you about Marvin Rodak, rodaxcoffeeandgrills.com, 817-924-6821. I kind of went through that so quickly, right? 817-924-6821. Go to rodaxcoffeeandgrills.com. You know, they're a big sponsor of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza this year. And Marvin Rodak, you got to understand, this guy is like a Renaissance man. He's doing the coffee thing. He's a pilot. He's building computers. He's doing all this amazing stuff. Like Marvin is the kind of guy, like whatever he needs, he'll figure it out himself. And years ago, he figured out that this coffee thing can be a lot better. And so he has made contacts with some of the great coffee plantations really around the world, literally all around the world, and gets, you know, the microbrew equivalent of coffee beans and roasts them for your order. So they're not like sitting there cooked too long, becoming stale. And so you give him a call, you tell him what you're into or what you maybe would like to try, and he's going to send you the fresh as can be coffee. And it's a different experience. Like it changes your coffee experience from what you're probably used to getting the vacuum packed stuff in the grocery store. And hot sauces and spice rubs, grilling, tools, tips, information. I remember Marvin made me a steak once. I was like, oh my God, really? This kind of ruins the rest of the steaks out there, but he taught me the Marvin method. All of these great things. Marvin Rodak, 817-924-6821. Also want to tell you about Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. You know, Frank and Lana have put together a tremendous program at Frank Hawley's. You can drive a dragster. Adam Cave just went through the whole thing. And you know, how much could there be to it? I can figure it out. What's Frank know that I don't know already? I'll talk to my bracket racer friends. Yeah, not a good attitude. You need to get out there and learn the Frank Hawley way. So many champions have done it. Like maybe you're a racer who wants to get your super comp or super gas license, top alcohol funny car license. Cody Crone went through the program, all of these things. But maybe you just want to drive a dragster and get your feet wet, a little taste. It's called the Dragster Adventure, and it's a great program. They even have the Dragster Adventure Challenge, where you can drive a dragster against your friends, and they set up a race. And it's like, you know, Joe versus Jay. Jay wins, that kind of thing. And they keep track of it. Go to frankhawley.com, give them a call, tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Just shout out WFO, and hopefully they've figured that out. And great sponsors for a long, long time. Also want to mention the Patreons, patreon.com/WFO Radio. This is our VIP listener squad. Patreon.com/WFO Radio. Monday Motivation. They get to see the video of the ignition show with us in our pajamas. It's great. And all the associated benefits, stickers and t-shirt if you sign up for a year. We're growing this crew. It's been pretty cool. And I had one guy email me the other day, I'm going to have to drop out of the Patreon deal. And he is not obligated to do that. It is a community of Patreons. And it's really cool that they have got all this going on. We'll see. Jeff Rice, excellent interview and news update. I found it to be newsworthy. And I'm very excited that people are wanting to come on WFO Radio to share their news. And I'm also appreciative that some of the other news outlets out there will amplify the story. Once upon a time, you know, maybe it's like, oh, if it happens on WFO, that's not my story. No, I think it's everybody's story. And whether it be like Dragzine, I went to Dragzine. They did a great job talking about Bernie. Like they got a great bio piece up about Bernie Federley. And, you know, Drag Illustrated, of course, National Dragster, NHRA National Dragster. There's a great story up. Phil Burgess, the NHRA insider, about Phil going into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. That was a tremendous moment to see Phil Burgess, masculine man, break down into a blubbering, emotional, just kidding, Phil. It was good though. No, to know how much drag racing, how much like people care about drag racing. Like what we're doing here is not just some hobby. I mean, it's a hobby, but there's a lot more to it. Past Eddie wants to know when the next time we hear from Heiner. You know, we were supposed to do a hear it from Heiner, but this trip to San Antonio is kind of like taking all the energy. This is why we're doing a Monday show, guys. So we will get together with Michael Heiner. Just for those of you who are Pro Stock fans, Derek Kramer, career best at the Gator Nationals. First round, Heiner told me that they went in the wrong direction. You know, they softened it up. That track was very tricky. They were trying to figure out. You had guys going in one direction, guys going in another direction, and he zigged instead of zagging. And it's just that simple, and ended up losing Corey Reed, who, you know, did real well. So, but there will be a new Hear It From Heiner episode coming very soon. Blake wants to know, Joe, is the Top Eliminator Club handicap accessible? Well, I believe that they are. Certainly, there are handicap accessible areas in each Top Eliminator Club, but the best thing that you could do is just call and, you know, where are we talking about going, which track, and let them know. And they will they'll give you the most up-to-the-minute information with a lot more detail than I can provide right here, Blake. But I can tell you that I have seen and been with people with handicaps, with powered chair or otherwise, and they have areas where they can enjoy racing. And sometimes it's the first row. So that's pretty cool as well. But I would encourage you to go to NHRA.com or reach out to the track that you're thinking about going and inquire with your specific questions. That will be good. Need more WFO, says Earl Nichols. My man. Earl, you saved the day with fire bottles, bud. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody. Thanks to Jay for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing the show and all of our WFO stuff, including the Hidden Horsepower podcast. Mike Moran. That was a really great interview. Go check that out. It's now available on YouTube. Hidden Horsepower has got its own YouTube channel. And I am headed west. Headed to San Antonio, then to Arizona. Going to try to get into that Alice Cooper show. Don't tell anybody, but, you know, maybe they need someone to intro Alice Cooper. How great would that be? I'll do it. And then we're going to Pomona. Historic home. Freiberger is going to be back in Pomona, by the way. No Freiberger in Arizona. The Freiberger will be in Pomona. Firebird Motorsports Park. Let's not get jaded and say, oh, the track is back. Let's skip this one. All hands on deck. Pro Mod going to be there. Going to be awesome. Going to be very, very fun. And this is a track where we normally get a sellout. We normally get a big sellout crowd over the past couple of years. Last year was the first year back. We don't want to have like a drop-off here. We want everybody out there. Start of the season. Happy birthday, Dean Antonelli. Are there any other notes that I was supposed to get to? Sad about TJ, obviously. Obviously, the Bartone family. Jay brought it up. I had my own thing. It's, you know, it's like Jay says, right? There's so much positive in the world that it makes the negative tolerable. Thanks for another awesome episode, Joe. See you at the next race. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate you. Thanks to everybody out there. It has been an amazing start to the season, and we really haven't started. We are one race in. So I'm excited to go back-to-back here this weekend. Arizona, Pomona. We'll know a lot more after the next 2 weeks. Who's real? All that stuff. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. WFO, guys.